So, David, I am very happy to tell you that our guest this morning, we have Mr. Bill Harvey. Okay. He is the operations manager for CertaPro at Mountainside. Bill, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. Can you tell us and our audience a little bit about yourself and what does CertaPro do? Who are you guys in the whole realm of condos, HOAs, and multifamily?
Hey, good morning, guys. Thanks for having me. I was born in Brooklyn to youngest of six, big Irish family. Grew up in Northeast New Jersey in Bergen County, and I did start my career in the advertising business in Manhattan for about 15 years. And then when the first recession hit back in 2010, things kind of started going downhill, and I found CertaPro in 2015, and it's been a great transition for me. It's been my 10th year. CertaPro is just a painters is a painting company, just like just like it says. My focus is on the commercial side of the business, which does include condo, HOA, high rise type of work. And we also do a lot of industrial commercial stuff as well. And yeah, we're coming in the spring season, so we're gearing up for the warm weather and our busy season.
You were leaping forward into spring. What are some of the projects that you get the most inquiries from community associations at this time of the year?
We get all sorts of requests. It kind of runs the gamut. Exterior painting kind of covers trim work to, siding, etc. But, people love their outdoor spaces. And when you live in a condo community, your outdoor space in many cases is your deck. So people have their furniture out there, they have plants, they love hanging out there. They like to make it their own little personal space, and they want their deck to be in good repair so that when the weather gets warm, they can scoot out there at any chance they get and hang out and maybe barbecue or just chill out.
Huh. No kidding. No kidding. So I guess it's not something I really think about. It's not in the front of your brain to paint or stain your deck. I mean, normally you're staring at your inside spaces, but what about like decks and patios? What makes them so challenging when you're working in, say, a common interest community rather than residential stuff? Is there specific challenges dealing with that sort of situation?
Yeah, since your deck is kind of in many cases, your only outdoor space, and it's about 8 feet by 10 feet, people tend to like to put a lot of stuff on there. So for someone who, like us, who's trying to come in and paint it, there in many cases is a lot of things in the way that impede the process. Also, you're kind of right in people's living space to some degree. So what makes it challenging is all the stuff there, and then also dealing with the homeowner and making sure that you're communicating with them very effectively so that they know when you're coming, they know when to move their items out off the deck into their unit and kind of give you the opportunity to stain it and then let it cure before they put their stuff back on the deck.
Yeah, I'm sure Aunt Karen's not too happy if she's got like a full patio set, 52 plants on the deck, and she's got to keep it inside for 3 weeks because she doesn't know when the painter is coming.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's some people have the hanging gardens of Babylon on their decks. They have couch chairs. So when we are doing our initial walkthrough with the property manager, even when we're doing the estimate at the beginning, like I'll be doing today for some folks, you kind of get a sense of who these folks are and how many of those types of, decks that you're going to see so that you can really communicate that effectively to the property management company, even before you win the proposal or win the bid. You want to give them a heads up on how you think the project might go, during the bidding process. And also that might affect how much time you spend and will affect the price as well.
Now, I imagine that there may be some scheduling challenges. No, I mean, you're not going to go into a high rise and do one deck at a time, right? You're going to do it in chunks or blocks. So to try to get all of these unit owners on the same page as to when you guys can be there, does that present its own set of challenges or is that pretty easy?
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest challenge. You're making sure that people are aware of when you're coming. We like to use the term on or around. This way people kind of know when you're coming. If it's an outdoor scenario, rain does affect the timeline for a project. Yeah. So what we like to tell them is when approximately we're coming, and then keep the property manager abreast of when we're coming as the weather evolves. If you're delayed 1 or 2 days the week prior, it's going to push things the following week. So yeah, it's a constant back and forth with the property manager to make sure that tenants know when you're coming, if you're going to be delayed. And then also, in many cases, they're pulling all their furniture into their unit while you do the work. So not only do you have to get the job done, all of that furniture is sitting in their apartment or their condo. So if you're late, if you're not communicating well, people start to get a little antsy.
Gotcha. Now, we talked about, you mentioned staining, we talked about painting. In a vacuum, what's the process for either, and which one is best?
I guess every question kind of in our business is it depends, but in a vacuum, if there's a deck sitting there and you need to stain it, you have to wash it, make any repairs that are needed. So if there's a board or two that's rotten, a piece of railing that's warped, or however, whatever you see, then you also have to sand and kind of prep the deck to, with any splinters, things of that nature. Then you're applying 2 coats of stain. It has to cure ideally for 3 to 5 days. And
Oh,
then
wow.
the resident can move their stuff back on. Although, many cases the resident's throwing their stuff back on there 10 minutes after we leave, but we can't help it.
Wow. Yeah. 3 to 5 days, man. It's a long time to have their garden inside.
We just kind of have to say what the manufacturer recommends, and then it's kind of in God's hands after that,
Is it different for paint?
No, it's about the same for paint. You just don't want to, although it may seem dry to the touch and you can walk on it, when you put a table on there or a plant or an outdoor rug, as soon as you're done, it'll just pull away the paint or the stain, in short order. So
Gotcha.
So the next question is I know it's subjective, so we're gonna try to keep it high level, keep it pretty general. But like, how long does a deck last? I mean, absent, I'm not talking of it sitting on the ocean over here in Jersey Shore. Just typically speaking, how long does a deck last? And is composite significantly more durable than regular wood?
Yeah, industry standard is about 10 to 15 years, I'd say, for a wood deck, and then maybe more like 20, 25 for a composite deck. And yes, a composite is significantly more durable. It's basically plastic, so it's going to last a long time. And therefore, when you build a composite deck, your materials cost, especially in recent years, is going to be at least 3 to 4 times more than standard pressure treated.
Gotcha. Now, if you do have a problem, it's a smaller problem. Can you do just repairs, or do you always have to tear the whole thing out?
No, repairs are common. When we're doing a deck project, we'll also give pricing for repairs, labor pricing, approximate cost for lumber. When you are doing repairs, so you'll do an inspection with the property manager, the homeowner, kind of determine what they want changed, come up with a materials list for that particular deck. If it is pressure treated lumber, initially you're not going to want to replace the boards or the railings with pressure treated lumber, because it does take 6 months to a year for that liquid to evaporate out of it. So you're going to want to use standard untreated lumber, and this way you can stain it as soon as you repair it.
Okay.
Gotcha. So, quick follow-up question, or maybe it's a divergent question, but what's the most important aspect of a successful deck job, repair, paint, stain, in your opinion? Like, what's your biggest takeaway? What would you say?
It's definitely, as much as we want, the work has to be solid and you have to do a good job on the overall project. But the most important thing is the communication aspect. So prior to starting the project, it's that initial walkthrough with the property manager. It's putting together a rough timeline for the property manager and the tenants, so that they have a sense of when you're coming, because it could kind of get out of control very quickly if the tenants don't know when you're coming, or you're late, or you skip a day, which can really spiral, and the property manager's phone is going to start to ring, and that means my phone is going to start to ring. So the most important thing is just the planning and the timeline and the constant updating to the management company, so that they can update their tenants, because people have, like I said, people have their stuff in their unit. They're looking at all their great patio furniture sitting next to their dining room table, and they start to get really, really edgy.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Now, it sounds like sometimes it could be a complicated process. How often can unit owners expect to have to undertake this kind of thing? Like, and again, it's subjective, but just give a round number if you can.
Honestly, decks should probably be stained or painted every 3 to 4 years. They do take a beating, but in many cases it doesn't happen that often. 5 to 7 years is the standard for exterior painting in the industry. Decks, like I said, they have plants on them. They have outdoor carpeting, things that trap water. They tend to have a lot of wear and tear. Depending on which side of the building it's on, if it's facing north or east, it's not going to dry out very well. It doesn't get a lot of sun, so you're going to see a lot of mold and mildew, and then from there you get a lot of wood rot. South and west sides, you're getting more sunlight, so they tend to dry out a little better. They're going to last a little bit longer, generally speaking.
Gotcha. Well, thanks for all this insight. All right, Bill, we're about to wrap this up, but before we go, we have a little game for you. If you're gonna be willing to play, so can you close your eyes, open your center console, and pull the first object that comes out of it?
It's this tag that I got. I
There you
forget
go.
where this came from, but it's been in my console for several years now. Maybe
That's
maybe
pretty
Aaron
funny.
Rodgers will not blow out his Achilles next year and play more than a few snaps.
That's all we can wish for the Jets fans out there.
They've been in good sport. On the show, we always like to give our guests an opportunity to thank somebody. It could be a charity, it could be a mentor, it could be somebody who's influential in your life, career, family member, anything. Somebody that you just want to give some recognition to. The microphone is yours, Bill. Go for it.
Well, I think, if we look back, I'm going to be 50 this year. So there's a lot of people that have influenced my life. But, just in the theme of CertaPro, I just want to thank Kevin Foley, who gave me a shot coming out of the advertising business 10 years ago, took a chance on me. And, over the last 9 years and change, it's been a great run, learned a lot about this business. And, he's allowed me to kind of do my own thing and spread my wings a little bit. So I want to say thank you to Kevin Foley.
Thank you, Kevin Foley. All right, see you everyone for the next episode of Car Chat next Monday. We'll have a fantastic guest, and we'll tell you then who it is. See you later, Steve.
Go Jets.
Go Jets.
See you next time.